Good morning, guys, or afternoon, or whenever you're watching this. Welcome to the lessons for the week of May 18th. Good news here going forward. First off, we're on the home stretch. The last week for students is June 11th, and so we'll be turning in grades shortly before that. So you guys only have a few more weeks of work here. The other piece of good news is that I've changed my grading slightly. All assignments will now be worth 2 points. I will leave those as zeros for the first week, just so you guys get the reminders from School Loop. Please don't freak out. After a week, I will change any unfinished assignments to E for excused. So that your grades can only go up. They can never go down. You guys, if you're trying to move your grade up to the next letter grade, 2 extra credit points at a time, it'll move that way very quickly. It'll move up very quickly. And the last piece is that there is no more homework on weekends. You guys, assignments will be due on Thursday before 3 p.m. I will try to be very consistent in having your assignments available for you on Monday mornings so that period 1 can get started during their normal time slot. So Monday mornings, look for generally 2 assignments per week. They should be short, fairly easy. Please watch the videos so that you can stay up to date. I'm also giving some tips and tricks for Google Classroom, explaining how some of that stuff works. Because it looks like next year there is going to be some amount of online learning, and obviously going forward in the rest of your career in education, you will, or your time as a student, you will need to be able to use online resources and Google Classroom and all of that stuff. You'll need to know what you're doing. So look for my other video for tips and tricks, and all good going forward. You guys are able to improve your grades, and the idea is that this is all going to build up into us being able to create our own personal workouts, workout plans, and that way we can work with that during the summer and come back refreshed and ready to go. So before I move on to new stuff, I just want to give you a very quick review of some of our key things that we have gone over. Okay, first off, we talked about the FIT principle. Remember that the FIT principle on this worksheet, and we had one with vocabulary. FIT principle is an acronym. Acronym means that is one word made out of several, using just the first letter of each one of those words. So it means frequency, intensity, time, and type. We also briefly discussed the ideas of overload, progression, and specificity. And again, overload just means that you have to do more than you were able to do before in order to improve. Progression means that you can't do a lot more than you were able to do, or you're going to injure yourself or have issues improving. And specificity means that you need to be training the thing that you are trying to improve. You wouldn't kick a soccer ball to improve your 3-point percentage in basketball. Okay, so then we talked about the FIT principle and how it relates to cardiorespiratory fitness. You guys know that this is a big thing for me. That's why we're consistently doing our weekly fitness assessments, because even with just once a week, we were able to see significant improvement. And hopefully it's helped you guys also to kind of build some grit, build some ability to push forward and to see the improvement, and hopefully that's encouraging. We looked at how cardiorespiratory endurance should be improved using the FIT principle. And so on this sheet as well, we saw that that meant 5 to 7 sessions per week, 65, some of these sheets say 66, it doesn't really matter, to 85% of your maximum heart rate, or a 4 on the RPE, the rate of perceived exertion scale, and then 60 or more minutes. I don't know how realistic that is for all of us, but hey, you know, in a perfect world, in an ideal circumstance, this is where we would like to be. 5 to 7 sessions a week, 60 minutes or more. And the activity type is obviously cardiorespiratory endurance type activity. So we have running, bicycling, swimming, those types of activities. Then we looked at how to determine where we are on the intensity scale and your rate of perceived exertion and the heart health RPE of 4 or 65 to 85% of your maximum heart rate, or your MHR. RPE, MHR, rate of perceived exertion, scale of 1 to 5, MHR, maximum heart rate. And then you have your target heart rate, which is your THR. Your target heart rate is the zone that you want your heart rate in during exercise. You don't want your heart going as fast as it possibly can go, because you would tire out too fast. You also don't want your heart going really slowly, because obviously that means you're not exerting yourself. Then we worked on a couple of worksheets. One of them was to look at your, calculate your target heart rate. This one was just finding out your maximum heart rate, then figuring out your target heart rate, and basically that gave you some of the answers to this next one, which is your personal age-adjusted heart rate worksheet. And this one gave us all 5 levels. Now, the bottom level where it says 0, someone very intelligently pointed out that your heart rate is never at 0. This just means anything below 40% is what you would experience when you were sitting. Let's say my maximum heart rate is 150. If I'm just sitting around, it's going to be below 60. So that is considered your resting heart rate. You're sitting around your media seat heart rate, or your 1 on the exertion scale, the perceived exertion. Then I gave you guys a Google Doc, very self-explanatory. All that you're going to do is you're going to find your carotid artery. That's this little indentation on your neck here. You're going to take 2 fingers. You're going to set a timer on your cell phone, or I guess somebody can count out 1/1000 in their head, but you're going to keep track of how many beats that you feel in 6 seconds. The reason we do 6 seconds is because it's a very, very easy math equation. All that you're going to do is multiply it by 10. If you've ever multiplied anything by 10, you know that all you do is add a 0 to the end. So let's say I feel 10 beats in 6 seconds. I'm going to add a 0 to that, which means my resting heart rate is 100. That would be a pretty unhealthy resting heart rate, but it's just easy math. Okay, so once you are done finding your resting heart rate, and after doing 40 jumping jacks, you'll submit that very short assignment, and then you'll tackle this larger one. Now this one is trying to get your varying heart rates. So the very first thing you're going to need to fill in is your target heart rate zone. And that's going to be a number of heartbeats per minute. Okay, so let's say your heart health, your 4 on this worksheet, is 120 to 150 beats per minute. Your target heart rate zone is going to be 120 to 150. Then you're going to do a variety of of activities, as many as you can. To be honest, I just want to see some variety in there, some difficult activities, some easy activities, and your resting heart rate. And I want you to see how high you're going to fill in these squares up until where your number reaches. So if your number is 60, then you just fill in this bottom square here. If your number is 180, then you would fill in all of those squares. That way you're going to have a nice visual and you'll be able to see which exercises you are exerting yourself more and which ones get you to your target heart rate zone. Okay. Then you're going to answer the questions at the bottom. Look at the pattern that developed on your graph. Why did some activities affect your heart rate differently? You can use your logic, and I'm sure you'll be able to figure out why some of these activities affected you more than others. Which exercises could you perform without stopping for long periods of time, and why? In terms of exercising in your target heart rate zone, which activities would be best for you to use to develop cardiorespiratory endurance? And explain your answer. Okay, so based on the activities that we have done, this should be very easy for you. You can use this throughout the week when you're doing your whatever activities it is that you're doing. So try to find a moment of time to do each one of these activities, and then right after you're done with the activity, take the heart rate as quickly as possible, because your heart rate will return to normal after a few minutes. So you want to be sure that you're getting your heart rate right after you do the activity. Okay, that'll do it for today. Please be sure you get those done. Also, the survey regarding the locker room, we will be giving you more notice on what we're going to do with that very soon. We're trying to get back information from you guys as to how many people need their stuff out of the locker room, et cetera, et cetera. If you've forgotten your locker number, don't worry about it too much. It should be written down in your planner. Now we know for next year, be sure you write your locker number down in your planner, not your combination, but your locker number. I hope you guys are all safe and well. Please try to begin being active if you have not. If you are permitted by your parents to go outside, try to get some fresh air, get yourself some exercise. Obviously, stay safe, keep a safe distance, face covering if you're near anyone, and have a great week. We will see you soon.